Welcome to the video. Today we're looking at the Chi Ri, the tier 7 Japanese medium tank. I'm gonna be honest with you, like this thing here, whenever I started playing it, I went into it just immediately hating it because I was using the DeanogTo's gun. And because the tap gun on this thing didn't get upgraded, like penetration wise, as far as I recall at least, I might be a little wrong on that, between the DeanogTO and the Chi Ri, and this thing's such a big vehicle, and in my mind it just seemed a lot worse than the DeanogTO tier for tier. I put off playing this thing for absolutely years. I don't know, like I guess it was just bad perception from whenever I first saw this thing release, but I refused to play this tank for absolutely ages. And now looking back on it, I was being really dumb. Because this thing's 3-shot clip makes it play like a Czechoslovakian medium. It has a really quick unload speed, which allows you to really surprise people whenever you shoot the right area, of course. And being able to deal out about 390 damage on average with a clip, and then reload in 8.4 seconds, it's absolutely brutal. Now, the one thing is a problem with this tank, even though it does have this brutal autoloader, is its size. This thing is a big vehicle, and it means that it's very, very easy to get hit in this thing. And getting hit in this thing is the one thing you want to avoid if at all possible, because it just takes so much damage when it does get hit. But thankfully, if you're trading shots in a situation like this, you should be able to unload 3 shots in the time it takes for your enemy to like put 1 into you. And yeah, I probably should have healed or stopped the stun there whenever I was firing that last shot at the T1 heavy. But let's try and bring these guys down. Oh wow, you didn't die. But you can see just how brutal this autoloader can be, especially against bottom tiered vehicles, or well, lower tiered vehicles I should say. It just absolutely just wrecks them. I mean, I was really stupid for not wanting to play this thing. This thing is actually a lot of fun to play, and it really catches people out whenever you just roll up to them, unload 3 shots into their face, and then just fall back out of their line of fire. And I will say one thing though, is you do want to hide this thing in some shape or form whenever you're using it, because if you're sitting in a position where you're sort of in the open, you're just going to get absolutely just melted. Actually was fairly close there. I didn't take into account the raise in the train tracks. But I'm on about 1500 damage so far. I feel like if I hadn't got hit by artillery so much, I probably would have been still near the front lines. But now, because I'm on such low health, I do have to play a little bit more cautiously now. Although saying that there's the artillery, I think that blasted me a couple times. So at least get the kill shot on him. Does seem like the majority of the remaining enemy tanks are on the other flank though. It's a bit risky, but should be able to go down here fairly easily. So let's head over to the eastern flank here and see what I can do, because I should be able to get some more damage at least out of this game. But yeah, if anybody hasn't gone through the Japanese mediums yet, I actually really don't think the Chi Ri is the weak point to this line anymore. I think the SDA-1 is probably going to be the weak point, and annoyingly that's the tank I have to play next. Like, the SDA-1 was always like, I remember back when the Japanese line first came out, I genuinely remember people saying that, oh, wait until you get the SDA-1, that's when the Japanese line gets good. But now, I feel like it's kind of reversed. It's just one of those things where just general, like time, in general, just time has passed in the game, and so tanks have just, well, aged poorly. And my accuracy was absolutely horrific, and of course the E25 has seen me, and yeah, wasn't sure what the E25 was. I kind of figured he would be back towards the base, like, I kind of figured he would be over here, but instead of being over there, he was over there. Yeah, I probably should have been a little bit more cautious about that, but it's an E25, what can you do? You're never going to outspot an E25, because E25s are stupid. And of course the artillery was actually over there. Although T-34, I'm gonna be honest, if I were you, I'd be focusing on shooting that E-25, because that thing there can basically wipe out everybody who's remaining in the cap circle on its own, because it's just stupid powerful. But well, in a situation like this against a Tog, no. But generally that E25 could have probably handled that a little bit better, because I think he rammed the P43 and he took a bunch of damage whenever he did that. I'm not entirely sure how he lost 400 health in like a second, but yeah, that was an interesting play by that E25. Kind of annoyed that guy killed me now. So let's see what the results of this game are going to be like. Probably could have gotten about 2,000 damage out of that game in total, but unfortunately I just got sort of shut down by the E25 whenever I wasn't really sure where to expect him to be. Probably miscalculated a little bit there whenever I was moving forward, because I was just in a rush to try and get some extra damage, because even though I do like this thing's gun, it's still not a fast tank. It does not get around the map very quickly. So it's one of those things where you have to kind of just take risks where you kind of want to, or well, take risks where you can to try and get a little bit more damage out of the game. I've actually gotten fairly lucky and gotten into another top tier game, and this time I'm on Kharkov. The one problem I'm having here is I've never played the western side of this map since it got reworked. So I've genuinely no clue how to play that side of the map. But I feel like that's the side of the map this thing would be better off going to. Also, if I come up against the King Tiger, I would not be able to do much against that. I don't have the penetration to go through his upper front plate or his turret. I don't have the ability to overmatch his turret either, but then again, look at the enemy team. They have an E25 and a Super Hellcat on their team. So pushing forward on the other flank doesn't seem like a great idea either. But then again, like this map, there's some decisions that they made whenever they were balancing this map which I don't really like. I don't understand why they added these like basically screw you spots here and here where there's just bushes where like if you win the fight here you immediately get slaughtered by tank destroyers if you push forward through the direct route to the base. It's kind of a dodgy bit of balance in there. I don't know why exactly they decided that was a great idea, but having these just sort of invulnerable zones where tank destroyers can just sit and avoid getting shot in return, it seems like kind of a shitty balancing decision to me. I personally would like it if they kind of got rid of those a little bit, at least made them a little bit more forgiving, or moved them closer to the actual fight, because right now I genuinely think that is one of the most like just ridiculous spots you can sit in. Because if you have one tank that's still alive there, proxy spotting the tanks coming around the corner, that tank there will just slaughter all the vehicles that come around this corner. And it's the same on the other side as well. It's kind of stupid, honestly. But yeah, that's just my general opinion on that. And wow, they've actually got a fair few number of tanks here. This is one sort of advantage to this thing being somewhat tall here. But I might be able to show what I'm talking about. Ah, M10. Oh, actually, wow, the M10's just showed off the thing I was talking about. Hopefully that guy has sense and is actually sitting in a position where he can't get shot in return. But yeah, that Bretagne Panther, or I've forgotten how it's pronounced. But that Panther got absolutely just eviscerated there. So those guys are not going to come around, rolling around the corner anytime soon, but I do think we need one more tank as backup here. Pretty much all I'm doing right now is just practice spotting these guys as they try to come around the corner. And that's pretty much the best thing I can do. But the one good thing is about this being the King Tiger I'm against rather than being something else, is that the King Tiger at least has a sort of low caliber gun for a heavy tank. Which means I can actually deflect his shots if he doesn't angle... Or no, I can deflect his shots if I angle my side armor. But yeah, this Scorpion and me are actually doing a pretty good job of holding this off. Like whenever they come around the corner, this autoloader punches them. And whenever they come around the corner as well, the Scorpion whacks them as well. Okay, just ignore the KV-1S. Get a few shots off. Into the tier 7s. That went fairly well. And now there's... Oh wow, he's not using the derp gun. Okay, surprised by that. And of course, Russian armor. Bounced off completely forward-facing KV-1S. This guy must be one of his... Like, that guy there, well, he didn't do anything wrong there, but like in that sort of situation, like this thing is one of the most brutal tier 7s to face off against in that sort of circumstance. But damn, that actually played out really, really nicely. Like, me and that Scorpion proved my point exactly on how stupid that position back there is. I can't believe it actually played out the way I pretty much said it would. So the M10 RFBM, or whatever it's called, back there is probably going to be a bit of a pain, but let's roll around the corner and see if I can kill off that Panther. Got a shot into him, didn't manage to get the kill though. But where's this M10 at? He should be up here. There he is. Got the kill on him. And the artillery died as well. So that game there went pretty much exactly as I could have hoped. Like, this thing here, when it's top tier, like, it does have a lot of health. Actually, think about it, it has more health than an IS, which is interesting. Like, an IS is a heavy tank, and this thing has more health on it. And I think this thing's actually about the same sort of weight as an IS as well, thinking about it as well, because it isn't a light vehicle. It's surprisingly heavy, and that was actually a fairly decent game. And you have Chi Ri OP. And like, it's like, that really just showcases the power of that position, because I got that guy there, I got 1200 damage there. Bear in mind, tier 7 game, 1200 damage, he basically did his health and a half. I did my health in like 75%. So you only really need a couple tanks to be able to defend that position and just not let anybody through it whatsoever. Like, it's kind of a ridiculous position. I don't know how that made it into the game without being balanced further, but I am very close to finishing off the Chi Ri grind. I'm only like 18,000 XP away from it. So I will get the STL 1 soon. So the STL 1 with nothing on it isn't far away from the Panther 88 in terms of reload. I'm just going to put vents on it as well, just so that I can just see this thing at its max in comparison to the Panther 88. Holy shit. 10 degrees of gun depression, faster reload than the Panther 88, faster aiming time. Only thing it has is worse accuracy. Shit. Now, you might be looking at the armor and thinking like, well, the armor is absolutely useless and the speed's not as good. But honestly, it's a 1 kilometer difference in speed. It's got a better part of weight ratio, and its armor, like both the armors on these tanks, are absolutely useless. So, I feel like there's something I'm missing here, but the stats on that tank don't seem as bad as I was expecting. Especially that penetration. Like, I don't know why, but I was under the impression this thing had like 196 penetration or something. But damn, that's interesting. That's really interesting to see. So, maybe the Cheeto was the weakness of this line. Because the STL1 does not seem as bad as I initially thought. So, like, I looked at the stats, imagining the stats to be a certain way, and then they were not that way in the slightest. So that was a bit of a surprise. But yeah, the Chi Ri, really not a bad tank. It really isn't. You just need to play it carefully. Don't get to the, like, I know in these two games, I did show this thing playing on the front line. Don't do that when you're bottom tier, and you should be fine. Like, I pretty much keep this thing at medium range, so you're not the main target of the enemy vehicles, and as long as you do that there, you're absolutely fine in this vehicle. Just keep unloading shots into the vehicles that are weakly armoured, because it seems like the majority of vehicles cruising around at the moment are fairly lightly armoured, so this thing here is able to dish out a fairly decent amount of damage, but don't expect this to be able to press 2 key and kill everything, because 186 penetration, it is 31 more pen, but 31 more pen isn't really enough to just go straight through every tank that you meet.